welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me on another video today. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. If you're new on here, welcome on board. If you are just seeing my videos for the first time, thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy it enough to subscribe, click on the notification bell, and come back to watch more videos. So today, guys, I want to talk about perfumes that vibe similar in my collection. Now, when I say they vibe similar, I just mean that some of them are actually, in my opinion, dupes of each other. Maybe they haven't formally said it, like, the producers of the so-called dupes have not formally stated that these are dupes. However, when I smell them and smell the perfumes I'm comparing them to, they seem very similar. So that's one group. You have other groups where maybe they share similar scent profiles, similar notes, and all of that. And to me, you can use either one or the other. I'm doing this especially because if you're not a perfume collector, it can get a bit daunting with all the perfumes on the market. And I just felt like, okay, within my collection, which perfumes would I do an either or for? So if I wasn't someone collecting perfumes, which one would I take within each scent profile? And I couldn't really make that decision if I didn't know about perfume. So I'm just trying to show perfumes that vibe really similar so that if you're making a decision, you can perhaps refer to this and then make your decision. That said, this channel is Scent Solutions. My name is Anne, and we gist about perfumes right here. So straight into today's business, I'll be starting with two very sweet vanillic perfumes, and the first one is Zara Femme. The second one is Sea Fiori by Giorgio Armani. Now, these two perfumes have that very soft, sweet, cozy vanillic thing going on. For Zara Femme, that's this one. It's a soft, sweet, powdery, cozy vanilla with a musky, somewhat balsamic twist to it, while Sea Fiori is sweet, fruity, floral, vanilla musk. That's just a summation of what each of these perfumes smell like. So to me, they really vibe very similar because you get that sweetness, you get that vanillic element, you get that cozy scent. It almost smells like spun sugar, in my opinion. So they have that component to them. And for me, if I were trying to go on a lower end of the price spectrum, if I wanted a more budget friendly option, I would go for Zara Femme. I feel like you would still get the same thing. And if I wanted to splurge on maybe a higher end designer perfume, I would go for Sea Fury. I feel like two of them will give you something similar in terms of the vibe. So there you have it. That's my first group of similar vibing perfumes for today. Okay, next up, we have, now these ones are white florals, right? I'm going to be bringing them out one by one. So first off, I've got a tester for this one, and this is L'Eau d'Issei by Issei Miyake. I would have to stand it up like this so you can see. This is what it looks like. This is what the bottle looks like. So this is L'Eau d'Issei by Issei Miyake, and this is Eau and Magnolia. So obviously this is like a citrusy, aquatic, perfume with a delicate magnolia heart and a woody base. That's what this is. And then you have Giorgio Armani My Way, you have Gucci Bloom, and you have Gucci Flora Gorgeous Jasmine. Now, to me, these four perfumes they have one thing in common, right? They all have white florals playing somewhere in between. So for Magnolia, L'Eau d'Issei, I've told you about that. For My Way is a very sparkly, citrusy opening with tuberose, obviously. People describe it as being a bubble gummy type of tuberose, which basically means that It smells somewhat like bubble gum. Like, it's a very simple explanation. I didn't know it before, but I always used to wonder when people said bubble gummy tubers. It sounded so fascinating, but it's really as simple as just smelling like bubble gum. So I think this one has that bubble gummy element. It's sparkly, citrusy, there's vanilla, musk, and cedar at the base. This is quite a very uplifting scent. It's very uplifting tuberose scent. I always say like it's tuberose done really, really well. Now here you have Gucci Bloom, which is like a fresh, dewy, floral tuberose. So if you were to compare this to Gucci Bloom is like the quieter elder sister or younger sister to Giorgio Armani My Way. And then you have Gucci Flora Gorgeous Jasmine, another white floral new release from the house of Gucci. And this is a citrusy jasmine with a sweet floral heart. Now, in everything I've described, you can see that there is a citrus component, there's the white floral component, and then in some of them, you've got a woody element at the base to sort of round things up and make it a bit less heady. Now, if you were looking for a milder white floral, Gucci Bloom would be it. If you want something more sparkly and uplifting, you could go for My Way or the Gucci Flora. If you want something a little more muted and sophisticated, it would be Issey Miyake, Lodi Issey, O, and Magnolia. Now, I've chosen different white florals because people love, not everybody likes all the white florals. I know some people who love tuberose but don't like jasmine, who like jasmine but don't like magnolia, that sort of thing. But to me, if I were just a regular perfume buyer who was not a collector, I would pick any one of these and be fine, quite frankly. So yeah, these ones vibe pretty similar. White florals. There we go. Okay, now next up on my list, I have these two. And funny enough, they both come in very different type of bottles. And when I say different, I mean like the bottles are quite unique. So you have a Lady Million by Paco Rabanne in this spaceship type of bottle. And then of course, you've got Good Girl by Carolina Herrera in the beautiful stiletto bottle. Now, Lady Million is a sweet, very sweet white floral with honey. There's honey at the base, there's some patchouli and amber to round things up. So that's Lady Million. I find this to be a really sweet night out type of perfume. Very playful, very sexy, very out there. Good Girl, also very similar in profile. This one is an amber floral with a host of white florals. There's tonka, there's praline, vanilla, and so many woody notes. There's also patchouli and coffee. This one has quite a complex mix of notes, but to me, they both smell very similar. I actually got Good Girl before I got Lady Million, and the first time I smelled Lady Million in the perfume store, I actually knew that it reminded me of Good Girl. So to me, both of them, like I said, are little black dress. I want to be noticed. I have a party, night out, I'm going clubbing, that sort of thing. Obviously, you can wear it to other occasions, but to me, I associate these two perfumes with clubbing, that nights out, where the music is loud. It's all, there's a whole lot of pulsating dances here and there. That's what I associate with these two perfumes. And to me, if you have one, you really do not need the other. So yeah, there you have it. Okay, now my fourth batch of fragrances. This one is a very interesting mix, right? So here I have very, very interesting mix. It is by invitation, Michael Bublé. This is very similar to Marc Jacobs Decadence. Now I have Decadence, I can't remember the name of the flanker. It skips my mind now, but it's not the pure Marc Jacobs Decadence that I have. I have a flanker of it. So This is very similar. I've put a picture up so you can see the one that this vibes very similar to. Michael Bublé by Invitation Signature is a very affordable fragrance. So it is pink and white florals with some citrus, some red fruits, a musky, woody, very sweet base. It has that green vibe and it gets a bit sweeter as it dries down. Now for Marc Jacobs Decadence, it has florals, it's got iris, there's vetiver saffron, and the notes are really different, but they somehow have found a way to smell very similar. So Marc Jacobs Decadence is also kind of greenish in the opening with hints of like fruity, sexy, woody vibes with that plum and all those base notes. Now, to me, the two of them are dupes. I would say that By Invitation is actually like a maybe 85 to 90% dupe of Marc Jacobs Decadence. So to me, if you were going for the cheaper option and you want that green, sweet type of scent, go for By Invitation Signature if you have it in your location, that is. I think it's a perfect dupe of Marc Jacobs Decadence, and all the reviews I've read have also confirmed the same thing. So there, those two vibe really, really similar. In fact, if you ask me, this is a dupe of MJ Decadence. So next one on the lineup is, now we're talking about roses. I've got 3 rose fragrances. And I know I have one here that will rile some people up. Some people might get angry that I'm comparing it, but just wait for it and hear me out. So you have Nina Ricci, Rose Extase. You've got the beautiful Delina Exclusive. And you have Trésor Midnight Rose. Again, remember what I said. I said I'm doing this for subscribers and just anyone watching who is not necessarily a perfume collector or reviewer or enthusiast or somebody who, has a larger than normal collection of perfumes. I'm not talking to people who collect. Hear me out. So, if you are somebody who just wants to buy a rose perfume, you like rose, you want something with that note in your collection, let's talk about these 3 guys. Now, Trésor Midnight Rose in this beautiful bottle by Lancôme. This one is dark, it's sexy, sweet and fruity rose with an underlying spiciness. For me, I find Nina Ricci Rose Extase. Oof, I love this perfume. It's affordable, it's lovely. It's by Francis Kurkdjian. So obviously rose done right. Now that one is sweet, a very sweet rose with raspberry, just like Trésor Midnight Rose as well, and it's on a vanillic, musky, woody base. So it has these two. They've got a very, very, very similar note profile. That is Nina Ricci Extase, or rather, Nina Ricci Rose Extase and Trésor Midnight Rose. They've got a very, very similar note profile. Now, Rose Extase is maybe not as spicy as Trésor. It's more toned down, a little more creamy, a little warmer, a little more comforting. But if you wanted that rose essence, you can do an either or, in my opinion. Now, where does Delina come in? People actually say that Nina Ricci Rose Extase is, very similar in vibe to Delina. Personally, I don't really think that they are similar in smell. I feel like they have fundamental differences. However, this would then depend on your personality and the kind of perfume that you like. If you like more muted, more gentle, fragrances that don't necessarily announce your presence, then Nina Ricci Rose Extase might be your thing. If you're also on a budget, it might be your thing. It will give you your rose fix, hands down. If you're looking for a slightly pricier option, Trezor Midnight Rose will do the trick. It's also sexy, it's rose, it's spicy, it's nice. Now for Delina, Delina is rose centered, very sparkly and smoky at the same time. Obviously because of the incense at the base and all the other base notes. It has lychee, it's got rhubarb. So obviously it's a lot more, would I say, sparkly and sour at the same time. So these others have the berries in them and they are either muted in the case of Nina Ricci Rose Extase, or they have the spicy component as in the case of Trezor Midnight Rose. For Delina exclusive, there is lychee, there is rhubarb, there is incense. So it has so many notes that give it a more complex, deeper, stronger structure than these other two. So to me, it depends on your preference. If you want something that is more subtle, you go for the other two. If you want sexy, in your face type of perfume, rose perfume, you go for Delina exclusive. So these are 5. I think I will do one more batch, and then the rest I will put in another video. Right, so next up we have these two. I spoke about them in my vanilla videos. You're seeing them here again. Now this is Armani Code and a YSL Cinema. Unfortunately, the way my video is positioned, you can't really see the top of the Armani Code, but this is basically what it looks like. Yep. And then you've got my ever beautiful, elegant YSL Cinema. I love this perfume. Now, Armani Code. Armani Code is citrusy, it's sweet, it's fresh, floral. It's got orange blossom, some spicy ginger, and some sandalwood at the base. So this is a very citrus forward fragrance with vanilla to warm things up, some sandalwood to give it some, creaminess at the base, and then a little bit of ginger to spice things up a bit. Cinema, on the other hand, is a citrusy, floral, vanilla. It's got amber as well. Both of them vibe very, very similar. So to me, you can do an either or, quite frankly. And, for me, it's one or the other. The only reason I have 2 of them is because, again, I'm a fragrance reviewer, I collect perfumes, that sort of thing. However, if I were advising anybody, I would say if you wanted something that has a little bit of a retro edge while still being contemporary, go for Cinema. If you wanted something a little spicier, a little more modern in terms of the structure and how the scent comes forward or comes through, then maybe Armani Code would be your thing. If you wanted it a little more gourmandish, Cinema would be your thing. So for me, these two vibe very similar. I think I'm going to stop here for this video because I don't want it to be more than 20 minutes. I'd said 15 minutes before, but we're already getting there. So watch out for my next video on similar vibing perfumes. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye, guys.